Hello, Stefania. As you all know, we are 30 minutes late,
Only.
only because we had technical difficulties. Yeah, so we got that
Okay.
fixed. Ah, something for the books to laugh about.
That's right. But we worked out
Yeah,
our technical difficulty, didn't we? So
we
that's not
we
going to
sure
happen.
did. Yeah, we did. We did. Yes, we did.
So
Oh,
welcome to Fun Fresh
Fun
Friday,
Fresh
everybody.
Fridays.
I know
Yeah.
we've received some messages. You're waiting for us. So we are here. So thank you for
Yes.
your patience.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for
I
your
hope you've
patience.
hung around or you're coming back round on to see if we're
Mhm.
on. If not,
Right.
catch us on the replay.
Right. Catch us on a replay.
That's it. We'll still be
Be-
here.
yeah, well, because right, we'll still be here. Well, because yesterday was Thanksgiving here in the U.S.
Yes. Happy
So
Thanksgiving to everybody, even though it's a little bit
yeah,
late. But I know everyone's suffering with the overload of food, apparently.
not me.
Not you? No.
Nope. Nope.
Can't
Nope.
overeat. Can overdo it.
No.
It's too much, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. It is. It is too much. And this is the first year that we ordered.
Oh.
Oh,
What did you order?
a Thanksgiving meal. From one of the local restaurants here.
Huh?
Let me tell you, I think that's going to be our new tradition.
It
No
was good.
slaving. Oh my gosh, yes. All we had to
Yeah.
do was put it in the oven and heat it up and then serve it. Oh yeah. No cleanup. Little to no cleanup. So
Yeah.
yeah,
And no
it was good.
hardcore slaving preparation too, because there's a lot that goes
No.
into it. I've had a Thanksgiving celebration one year when I was in the States. Yeah, it was
Nice.
lovely. I did enjoy it. And it
Yeah.
was full on, with the sweet potatoes and sweet potato pie and
Mm-hmm.
macaroni cheese and turkey and this and that. And yeah, it's just full on.
Just too much food.
Hmm.
Yeah, but we ordered, because you can tailor your order. So we did. We tailored our order. And guess what? Not a lot of leftovers.
Hmm.
Thank
And did
God.
you have a full turkey?
No.
No, no. I was going to say it's only the three of you. It was only the three of you, right?
Right. Yeah. So, but it was family, and it's our tradition, to sit down and eat breakfast, and then eat dinner, and then eat dessert. So yeah. So that was our we actually sit down at the dinner table.
No.
Not at the little Um, and then the next day, which is today, it is our tradition to start decorating. And so we decorated outside. We decorated for Christmas. Yeah,
Wow! How
I love
exciting!
Christmas. I love Christmas. Oh,
Mm.
hello, Nina. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, Nina.
Nina, how are you?
Oh, yeah, Edison, Nina. Yes. She's one of my good friends. I stalked her on Instagram. I don't stalk people, but I stalked her.
Woohoo!
Yes,
Okay.
because I wanted to be her friend. And so we became friends, and I actually met her. She has a one up on you, Stefania.
She's met you?
Yes, in person,
I've known you
live
for 5
and
years and I haven't actually met you yet.
I know. But we're going to make that happen. We're going to make that happen.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, today's
Yes.
show,
Mm.
if you've been watching, we had Zanetta on the hot seat
Hmm.
last week, and we only scraped the surface of getting to know a little bit about Zanetta and her past. And as I mentioned, Zanetta has had quite a colourful and eventful life. Was she saying? I'm so glad You
You
stalked
stalked.
me. I love me some you.
Some you, yeah, I love me some Nina too. Yeah, she's amazing. We're gonna have her on our show.
Awesome. Awesome. I look forward to it, Nina. Look forward to it. So we got up to the part where, what did she say? These episodes
Have
have
helped
helped
me.
as a new follower get to know you both. Oh, wow. That's awesome. Because that's the whole idea.
Yeah,
The whole idea
yeah.
of getting to know us, a little bit more about us rather than, just the show and what we present and, what we stand for and what we do. And I think it is nice because people then have this a little bit more of an infinite connection, wouldn't you say, Zanetta?
Right, right. A little bit more understanding and a little bit more, oh, that's Zanetta, and that's the way she does things, because Zanetta will be the one to blurt things out. Stefania will be the one. Let's all get along together. Let's come together. And she's a nice one. She's the nice one.
Right. Well, I wouldn't say that. You just I do have my little episodes as well. Don't think I'm all,
Yes, you
I'm
do.
not perfect. I'm not perfect, okay? However, I think it's great. You're right, Nina, because we get to share a little bit about ourselves, a little bit about, what we've gone through, and as to why we do what we do as
Mhm,
far as a profession. And it explains a little bit of our personality traits as well, would you say,
mhm.
Janetta?
Yeah, yeah.
And also, you know, why possibly we have transitioned from different careers because life is a
Right.
journey and it's gotten us to do, and be serving people in a way that is most fulfilling for us and,
Mhm,
beneficial for others simply because of what we have also experienced, right?
mhm, mhm,
So Zanetta, you know, you did go through quite a lot, and we went through the earlier part of your life last week
mhm.
into your teenage years, into your early adulthood, and then, which was you got to watch the show, everybody. I'm not going to go over it. Just briefly doing a recap, and then motherhood, married for 25 years, and then you're
Divorce.
divorced. You
The
had
D word.
the DD word. You had a new beginning again, another change, a new chapter in your life. So from there, you started working really hard. I mean, you had 3 kids and you were single mother, and I know a lot of mothers out there that are single with children and know how hard it is, and
Mhm.
the challenges, the physical, the mental, the spiritual, you know, the whole package of just being a mum and being everything to your child, because you don't want your child to miss out on anything, right?
Right.
And the
No,
challenges.
yeah, but I want to get something straight. The kids were grown,
Mhm.
but they came back home.
But, do kids really, I mean, I shouldn't say this, like, do they ever grow up? They're always your children. It doesn't matter
Yeah,
what age they are, right?
yeah,
So,
right.
you're still gonna be
Care for
mothering them,
them.
and
Hmm,
not
hmm.
in the way that you would be when they're younger, but you have that infinite love as a mother for the children. So did all 3 come back home?
Yes. Two of them, stayed, and one of them got kicked out
Mhm. Mhm.
because there's certain rules that I have in the home, and if you're gonna come back home, you're gonna follow. I don't care how grown you are.
Right,
This,
right.
this is my home. You're gonna follow it, and if you don't follow it, there's the door.
Mhm. So, Zanetta, you are a business and life strategist,
Mhm.
yeah?
Yeah.
So do you wanna just, um, explain to people what that is, and then we're going to kind of like go back a little bit with how your career evolved to
Yeah.
now, but just explain what that is.
So, business and life strategist. I really do not like the terminology coach. I mean, that's just me. It's not for everybody. I don't like the terminology coach. I like a strategist because when you strategize, then that means you're giving the individual, whoever it is, you know, tools that they can use to go whichever way they want. If they want to do this, they can do that, but if they still want to venture this way, then there's another strategy for that. Same thing with life. We have a lot of choices, we have a lot of decisions, we have a lot of things that we face, and you sometimes just need a sounding board. You don't need someone to tell you what to do. You just need someone to hear you and say, and ask, am I doing this correctly? A strategist would say, yeah, looks like you're going the right way. What do I need to tell you? Just start unpacking what you have inside of you. So that's what it is. A strategist is someone who looks at the individual and see what they have, because sometimes the individual don't see what other people see.
Mm, wonderful. So there you go, everybody. She will help you unpack and your life at the same time,
Yeah.
strategically,
Yeah.
which makes a lot of sense, right? It does make a lot of sense. So let's take off from where we left off and how your life pivoted after you divorced, because then you had to really knuckle down and start working. What were you working as? And obviously you furthered your education and studies and did a whole lot of other things as well in between.
Mhm.
Share a little bit about that.
Ooh, so when I was trying to make ends meet, I had some savings, a little bit of savings, and I knew that if I purchase a business or go into business, I will be able to, come out, because that's what we're all trying to do, right?
Mhm.
Go into business, and then the business, hopefully will flourish, and then it'll sustain us. Well, that business didn't sustain. So I put in a lot of money in it. It was cleaning. I had my own cleaning business while still working for the federal government as a secretary, as an admin, making little to no money. But I also sunk in a lot of my money into the cleaning. Uh, I didn't sleep. Uh, I mean, it was almost like I only went to sleep like about an hour and a half, maybe. Yeah, just to get the payment that I wanted. You know, just to stay afloat, just to stay afloat. Now, the decisions that I made were utterly so disastrous because with the cleaning business, you can get a contract and you can either do sweat payment or get the payment now and they will take off a chunk of the money. Well, I didn't want the chunk of the money to be taken away. So I did sweat payment, which means I had to finish the whole contract first and then I get paid, which was the wrong thing to do. Yeah. So I was getting tired, exhausted, mentally exhausted, physically exhausted. I mean, it was just exhausting. So, yeah, I made the wrong decision.
And so what happened then?
I let it go.
You let it go.
I let it go. Yeah. And so what I did was there's this program in the federal government where you can sign up for overseas. So I did. I was military, so why not? I signed up for overseas, and that's where I went to Afghanistan, where
Mhm.
75% more of our pay. So yeah, so that helped me a lot. That helped me, come out of debt a little bit, and that's exactly where I met Jeff.
So you went to Afghanistan. Wow. That's exactly what Nina said. She goes, wow.
Yeah.
Exactly what I said, Nina, when I heard about Afghanistan. So tell us, what what did you do in Afghanistan, and how did you like? Did you just say, "Yep, I'm going to Afghanistan," or did you think it through? Did you?
Did not think it through.
Hmm.
I was just looking at the money.
Hmm.
I was looking at the money. I needed the money. I That's all I was looking at. And I said, it's only going to be a year. Plus, it's a volunteer. What can happen?
Fall in love.
Well, 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 that too. But let me tell you what happened. We were being bombed. Rocketed every single night. We would
Mm.
hear sirens every night. It was at night, and we always wondered why it was at night because it's warm. It's not as hot.
Oh, really?
It's not as hot.
Not as hot.
So, mhm, yeah, and so yeah, we couldn't go outside the wire. That's what we call outside the wire because when you go outside of the wire, then you have to be on full on, hijab, wearing the hijab, and you have your military um, uh, escort with you if you need to go somewhere. So yeah, we couldn't go outside the wire because plus the threat of being kidnapped, being used for ransom and all of that good stuff.
Wow, you were on hot land. That's pretty risky. So tell me, what was your volunteer work? What kind of work did you do?
Initially, I went there because I was a GS6, which is pretty low. So I went there to fill a slot for admin to give out awards to the military, the soldiers that are there, and for the civilians that are also there. But when I got there, um, that didn't happen. So I wound up sitting on a GS13 slot. And God was just showing me some stuff. That's all it was.
That was
Because
what, sorry?
God was just showing me that I'm capable of doing the position. Because
Right.
before I was thinking, I'll never get to that. I can't do that. I can't do that. So these are the things that are going in my head. And so when I went there, I was placed in a GS13 position, which is management. So I manage about 2,400 soldiers and civilians, making sure that when they come in country, yay, Nicole, happy holidays.
Hey,
Thank you for
Nicole.
joining. Yeah. So they would come in. And so what happened was I experienced going into Afghanistan. First, you have to stop in Kuwait. And if you don't have the certain number to go to Afghanistan, because going to Kuwait, you have a charter plane. It's still a military plane. But when you go from Kuwait to Afghanistan, now you are on a C 17, strictly military plane. So we had to wait. We couldn't go from where we were to our post because of this certain number that we weren't on a manifest. And some of the ladies that were there, some of the people that were there, they've been waiting there for months. And let me tell you, talk about heat. The only time we can come out is about 11 o'clock at night. I mean, you can come out in the daytime if you want to. If you want to get fried, because it was
It
it
was
was
so hot.
over about 100. 10, 11 o'clock at night, then they'll start to die down to 99, then go back up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So we were there and I started to, think in my head, what can I do? What can I say? How can I, get this, for us to get to Afghanistan, because Afghanistan is cooler. It's not as hot as Kuwait. Yeah. So I wound up doing that, and that's what landed me that position, because I thought of an idea that the military has been there for over, I don't know how many years, and they didn't think of it. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
That's amazing, Zanetta. The strategic, the strategist in you was
yeah.
just always
It's
unpacking
always there.
and,
Yeah.
finding solutions. That's awesome. So, yeah, so you were there for 12 months?
No,
No. How long were you there for?
6. Too long.
6?
6
6?
months. 6
6
months.
months. Okay.
Um,
And you were able to leave earlier? Like, you're not on a contract
yeah.
or anything? How does it work?
No, no, it's a volunteer. So it's truly is a volunteer. They wanted me to extend before I even, did my full year. They're like, oh, we like to. I'm not even staying here for a full year. Yeah. Um, and I'm going to say this: when I was in Afghanistan, at least the enemy on the outside of the wire, I knew who they were, I know when they were going to attack, and I knew what to do. But the inside, enemy on the inside, my fellow coworker, the one who walks down the street, I didn't. Mm-mm.
Really?
Yeah, yeah,
Wow. So you had the sharks were on the inside, not
yeah,
just on the outside.
yeah. I left just before um, there was a suicide bomber that infiltrated. I left just before. What
An
got me
American?
was
An American? Oh, okay.
no,
Afghanistan.
yeah. So each of the workers there, because we're integrating, getting back on their feet. So the workers inside the wires are Afghanis. They're the restaurants that we go to, the coffee shops that we go to, the Pizza Hut. They're all Afghanistan. Um, and the one that I struck up a good relationship with was at the coffee shop. Yeah, he knew exactly what I wanted, and every day, because every day I would go there, and he was like, "Ah, Janetta," and we're thinking we're doing something great for these individuals, and so yeah, and so we got rocketed that night, and it came really close to where our building was, where where we were at, because that's where they were trying to get. They were trying to get to where we were at, because that's where the general was. That's where the general was housing.
Mm.
Um, but it did do some damage. The rocket did do some damage, and then come to find out, the one who was giving where to was the guy who was taking my orders.
At the coffee shop.
Hmm.
Holy mogoly.
Yeah, it was
Mhm.
time to go.
Time to go. There were signs there.
Yeah,
Wow. So 6 months, and in those 6 months, you met the love of your life. Let's just
yeah,
a
within
little
that
bit.
6. Yeah, I was done with men, but yeah, Jeff was totally different. He, like what I said, he treated me like I was, you know, I was visible. I was there. He treated me like, he actually hears me when I say stuff. He actually heard me. Yeah,
Mhm.
and so the when I left Afghanistan, he remained there, and then he left, and I thought,
How long how long how long more did he stay? You left it
I think he stayed there for another. 5 months. I think he was there for another 5 months. Um, and I thought we were done, because he's a guy, he's over there. I'm a woman. I went back to California, and we kept in touch with each other. I was like, yeah, right.
Anti-men, anti-men.
Right, right. But then he came to visit. He came to visit in California. I was like,
Wow.
okay, okay. So, and then the visits became frequent. He lived in Virginia and he would come to California. Yeah.
Wow, there's a bit of a flight there from Virginia to California.
That's when I knew he was serious.
How many hours flight from?
I think I was about six and a half.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
he was serious. Mhm.
Yeah, it was.
Lovely. So, how long after you had gotten to Afghanistan did you actually meet Jeff? That was my other question.
Oh, we met during going too.
Oh, on the flight. You both arrived at the same time?
No, training before we even left. Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay. Oh, so the connection happened prior to actually getting to
I might not, his story might be different from
different?
mine.
I'll have to interview him
Yeah, but there is no connection there for me in the beginning.
at that point. Okay, okay. Well, he pursued you and he could
He did.
see, he could feel and see the brilliance in you. Oh, wonderful. Okay, so that was a big another chapter in your life. And coming back, how did that leave you feeling, like having experienced another war zone, a real war zone? Because, when you're in the military the first time, you weren't actually in a war zone. You just went
I
through.
was, yeah, I was in the rear. I was in the rear when the war was. Yeah, yeah. I was not in the theater as they call it. Um, no. So coming back, I was just happy. I was just happy to come back. To family. I was worried that my grandson wouldn't recognize me, but he did. So and another thing that was going through my head was, here I go. I'm going to lose that pay. I'm going to go back to my pay and another struggle. So that's, was constantly in my mind. And so I was looking for positions elsewhere. And so Jeff gave me um, a proposal. Not the proposal, but a proposal. He said, "What should come over to Virginia with me?" Okay. And so I did. And because Virginia was where my headquarters was, my
Mhm.
headquarters said that, because we were 100% remote back in 2012. So back in 2012, we've been remote. So I've been remote, working remotely all this time. So 2016, went to Virginia and went to my headquarters. And headquarters, I don't know what happened while I was gone, but it must have been a disaster. So I had to do a lot of fixing. I fixed a lot of stuff. A lot of the cases, a lot of the cases were missing. A lot of cases weren't getting done, weren't being submitted. So one of the agencies was calling mad to me, and I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa! Somebody told me to call you. It's like, okay, you're talking to me, but what do you need? So he told me what he needed, and then I went ahead and gave him what he was asking for. He was like, "That's it? That, just 5 minutes? You gave it to me." I said, "Yeah, you were asking for it. What else do you need?" He's like, "I have been asking for this for 3 months." I was like, "I'm sorry. I have been gone." I just got back. So he said, you know what? I need people like you on my team. And that's when he said, I need an EEO specialist. I said, I don't qualify. And he said, after what you just did, you will qualify for anything.
Mm.
So, so I thought he was pulling my leg, because of what I did for him, so that the next time he calls, I'll be able to help him again and do whatever, whatever cases that he needed to get done. But no, he, true to his word, a job, he created one for me. So that was my first position that I was able to get a GS7. The next year I got a GS9. The following year I got a GS11. The following year I got a 12. Yeah. So my career started progressing and it was rising. And all because I said yes to change my zip code.
Mm.
I had to change my zip code.
Which meant you had to live in Virginia.
I had to leave California.
Or yeah, and live in Virginia.
I had to leave what I was familiar with. I had to leave everything. Only thing that I took with me that can fit
With the clothes in
was
your
in,
bag.
was in my suitcase.
Right.
Yeah, I left everything.
Wow, isn't that interesting? You said, I had to change my zip code. So sometimes that's what we really need to do, don't we? We need to just let go and take that
Leap.
opportunity. Just do it without
Yeah,
fear of, well, whatever's going to happen is going to happen. It's for my highest
yeah,
good,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Wow. And during those years, right, because you were working and climbing up the ladder, but you were also furthering your own self development.
Yes. During this time, so now, you know, meeting Jeff, and our first 2 years was rough. It was very, very rough and rocky because I laid it. I mean, everything on him. The first sign that you're controlling, you're gone. The first sign, the first sign that you think that you're gonna tell me, you're gone. The first, yes, it was rocky. I mean, it was rocky. So I told him. I told him everything. I told him the story. I told him my childhood, how I used to swing on a pole. I got drugs, alcohol, everything. The bump up, sexy movies. I tried to get rid of him. The more I told him my story, the more he kept on saying, "You really need to write a book."
There you go.
Ah, and he said, "Do you know how many women you can help? Do you know how?" So he kept on saying that, and finally, he said, "I'm right here. I'm gonna stay right here. I'm not going anywhere." So then I took off the gloves.
Lovely.
Finally, took off the gloves, and 2017, I believe, 2018. I wrote the book. I finally wrote the book, and it was hard for me to write the book, but he was there every step of the way. Because to write a book, it takes you back. Sometimes you think you're healed, you're not
No.
fully healed. Yeah, um, it's in my cart purchase this weekend. I'm gonna set it to free just for you, Nina. Keep it in your cart, but just I'm gonna set it for free. I'm gonna set it for free. Um, yeah. So I there's a lot of things that we go through, and that's why I'm a strategist, because there are certain things that we think that we're over or be forgiven, Yes, we forgive him, um, but there's still that pain. That pain still remains in us because we remember. You know,
We do.
memory is connected to an emotion. Just let that sink in. Memory is connected to an emotion. The emotion is either very happy, very glad, very surprised, very, elate, all on the, higher register of emotion. And also the memories that you remember are on the lower register. The pain, the betrayal, the hurt, all of that. That's what you remember. The in between, you're like, oh, dang, I do remember that. A friend comes to you and says, hey, Stefania, remember? Oh my God, I forgot about that. Yeah, because that emotion wasn't strong enough for it to create a memory. Yeah.
Nina says that is revelation, and oh, so true. Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah. Yeah. The emotion is not strong enough to create that memory that you can recall right away. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of stupid stuff I did that sometimes when I'm talking to Kazaya, I'm like, oh gosh, I remember I did something stupid like that too. But it's not connected to a strong emotion. It's not in the higher register or the very low register.
Mm. Hence why when we get triggered, there is what we call a trigger happening, and the
Yeah,
subconscious kicks in and brings that bit of information up,
yeah,
and we start feeling a certain way, right? We
yeah,
start
yeah.
feeling those emotions not related or pertaining to that event because it doesn't recall that event, but it remembers, like you said, the emotion, the feeling.
Emotion of it. Yes, yes. And when you start to feel that emotion, you don't realize that you are projecting it to the people around you in the present. So you'll start, like when I got on, because I got just a few minutes ago. I got on her, and then she want to yell at her dog. Move! I said, no, no, no. She didn't bother you before. Now all of a sudden she bothering you. Uh-uh. You angry at me. Take it out on me, not on the dog. Let's go. Let's have at it. Let's go. Tell me what made you upset. Yeah. So that's how when a strategist comes in, they'll take a look at your weak points. They'll take a look at your structure. Where are your strengths? Where are your weaknesses? What is this thing that keeps you going into this? Okay, so in psychology, in counseling, there's this. We always talk about, all these other emotions that we have, or these other things that we're familiar with, like what's the big one? Uh, I can't think of one because my mind is on this certain trait. Um, they're behaviors that we have. They're survival behaviors. There's the fight behavior for survival. There's the flight behavior for survival. There's the freeze. And then there's also fawning. Look it up. A lot of people don't know about fawning, Fawning. It's because these are the behaviors for those that are battered women,
Mm-hmm.
for those that are sexually abused, for those that have been in a very confrontational environment, like a domestic violence. Their go-to survival is fawning. Fawning means they'll do everything and anything to survive. So they'll agree, they will
Mm.
say, they will please. These are the people pleasers, the fawners, the fawnings. But there's also one characterization or a behavior. It's called sunken cost fallacy. Yeah, you can Google it. So sunken cost fallacy, it's used by the financial business, the business people, the business side. That's why I
Mhm.
like business and life, because business and life, kind of merge together. So the sunken cost fallacy is you have put too much effort, too much money, too much time to let it go. You know it's sinking, you know it's not working, you know it's not, he's not gonna, come back and be faithful to you. You know that he's gonna cheat on you or she's gonna cheat on you. You know this, but you just continue to, but I spent time, but I've done this, but I know they're gonna change. So that's the sunken cost fallacy. And that's what a lot of us, tend to do when we have these triggers come up. We have these, different reminders, our emotion, oh, I put too much effort on that already. You know, it's it's a sunken ship. It's a losing battle. It's a, well, then if it's that, let it go.
Mm.
Let it go. She's a therapist. Y'all, Nicole's a therapist. So, yes, it's called insanity. It is. But it's a sunken cost fallacy. That's the terminology. Because you're thinking, you know, and you know it, but let it go. You have to change your zip code. You have to. Not doesn't have to be physical, but
Mm.
it can be metaphorical. Change your zip code. Um,
I call it change of password.
there you go. Don't let them in your password. Don't let them change it. Because some
Change it.
people do know that password. And and sometimes you'd have to not respond, delete, block. Um,
Mm. And there's nothing wrong with that.
there is nothing. Listen, in order for you to be successful in anything, whether it's business, life, relationship, you have to be first successful with you. There's no way around it. There's
Mm.
no way around it. No way. You first have to be successful with you. If you can't stand you,
You have big problems.
there's something wrong. So then you have to look internally. Let's change the strategy. Instead of you trying to be good at on external, how about let's be good internal? What am I lacking? Because when you start to work on the inside and what you're lacking, then nothing or nobody can tell you anything. Nothing can stop you. Nothing can deter you. Nothing. Nothing can. No matter what they say. I used to like flip. Oh my gosh, I used to flip when I would be passing by and a guy would whistle and I would ignore. And then the next word that comes out of his mouth, you did? Who the heck? It comes out. I mean, but now the whistling is not for me because I don't get called by whistle, nor do I respond by a honk, nor is my name Bitch. That is not my name. You're not talking to me. You must be talking to that woman over there because obviously you got this one wrong. So I'm going to ignore you. You do not exist in my world. Therefore, I'm going to go forward. Who do you think you are?
Exactly. Exactly. And the last comment, Nicole, I think, wrote.
Yes, you have to always be operating at your highest self. Yes, that is the best strategy that you can have in your business and yourself within your life. Um, because if you take a look at it, okay, let's talk about, I think a lot of people are going to be mad at me. I don't care. I really never cared. I'd have too much drama in a life for a lifetime that I have, been through, that I shouldn't care. But here, the what we call manifesting, you know, the manifesting things into existence. What do they
Mhm.
call it? Oh gosh, uh, power of attraction,
Oh, law of attraction.
law of attraction. Okay, let's talk about law. So first, there's law. Now listen to this strategy. Listen to what Nicole said. She should know because she's a therapist. Yes, the law of attraction. She's a therapist, and she knows this, and it's taught. So law tells you that there has to be something done, correct? And attraction has to be what this is doing first. What the law, you have to do the law first before this equals that. So the law of relativity or the law of gravity, something must have to be up before it hits gravity and then falls down. So that's the law. It is abiding by the law. So the law of attraction is this. If you're if you're operating in your high self, the higher frequency, then and only then can you attract.
Yes.
Then and only then. But if you're saying, "Oh, I'm gonna attracting, all these, let's talk about yours. I'm gonna attract all of these, high achieving women, and because I'm a high achieving man." Well, if you're vibrating in a low level, you're not gonna attract a high achieving woman. You're not going to, because she's gonna look at you and like, you still have milk around. You cannot. You cannot do it. Yeah. There you go. You cannot attract things out of desperation, which is a low vibration. Yes. So you can't say that. You can't say, this is going to happen, this is going to happen, this is going to happen. No. The higher frequency of that is, I am made for this. See the difference? Just speaking it, I am made for this. I am born for this. I am ready. Then contrasting, this is going to happen for me. I mean, just saying it is like, yeah, because it's futuristic. Law doesn't know future. Law knows now. Oh yes, I deserve this. This is what I deserve. No, right? Yeah, I deserve. That's a low frequency. So if you really want to be in the law of attraction, because high frequency is already there. It's already there. Money, fame, viral, whatever you want. That's why I said I'm not going to go viral, because I don't want to go viral. It's already there. It's just waiting for you, low frequency, to get to the same level of the high frequency, and then it will come. It's there. It's there for you. It's there.
It's there
Ask
for
Nicole.
everybody, right? Everybody.
Yeah.
And I
Ask
think the way we
Nicole. She,
mm,
yeah, ask Nicole. Nicole, no. I got some millionaire friends. I ain't gonna tell nobody, but I got some millionaire friends. You'll never know that they're millionaires. You will never know. Yes, meditation. So that's the strategy. The strategy in everything. Anytime you make an I am statement, you are putting yourself into a higher vibration. Yes. So that's the law that needs to be followed. So if you're going against the law, well, then guess what you're going to get? Nothing.
No, exactly what you're claiming. I am not good enough, or I am not this, or I'm not that. And you're getting exactly that. So you are actually getting something, but it's not
Yeah.
exactly what you want because you're not vibrating at that energy, right?
No, no. Or I will. Another one is I will. You know,
Mm,
no, I will is, I will get that. I will get to it. I'll get around to it. No, that's futuristic. You're
mm,
not saying I am doing it now. Yeah, it's total different. Different.
mhm, mhm. So, getting back to you, Zanetta, and you then, you found yourself living in Virginia because you changed your zip code and things started blossoming, opening up for you, changes. You started, you continued to evolve and do more work on yourself. You wrote a book.
Mhm.
You also had clients as you were, working through, still working with the government, but still working your business on the side, your
Mhm.
strategy.
Mhm. Yeah.
And, and now,
Now, you know, like what I said, there's a lot of a lot of things that we are fearful of. You know, we can talk a strong game sometimes, and and try to convince other people. And so I had this sunken cost fallacy as well because I have put 15 years of my life for the federal government. It's another 5 years, right? Then I can retire. But then I'm doing this business and I'm telling people how to do business, but yet I'm still holding on to this because it's a security blanket. It's I put 15 years. I worked hard. It took me a long time to get to this GS13. It took me a long time. When I had a talk, and Nicole doesn't know this, I asked her, I said, how do you do it? And she just told me. I was like, wow, okay, all right. So I had that in my head. Then I talked to another person, and I had that in my head. And I finally talked to Jeff, and I said, Jeff, I am so used to having this amount of money in my bank every, 2 weeks from the federal government. I'm afraid to leap out on my own, to have my business. What if I fail? What if this doesn't work? He said, what if I tell you you don't need to work? That just threw me off. I was trying to, I was trying to find a big party. And I was like, what? He said, we'll figure it out. You don't need to. We'll figure it out. He said, I think that you should go ahead and pull the plug. Because during that time that I was contemplating, that's when everything came crashing in. My past, with my dad, with my mom, with my brother, with my ex, with my granddaughter. Everything came crashing in. And I wound up having to go to a therapy session. I had to sign in the hospital because it was just too much mentally, physically, emotionally. It was just too much. It was just too much. So I thought it was stupid.
I know. Didn't
Going
want
into
to
a group
go.
therapy. I know you talk to me. And thank God for friends like you, Stefania. And I did. I went. I was faithful. I went every day. I showed up. I did, and I even continued after the group. You know, the group therapy, and I found that I needed to look within me. Great at everybody else. Great for everybody else. But for me, my strategy sucked. My way of, making decisions was I was operating in a low vibration. And with that, that's when I started to transition. So when I dropped the 15 years of federal government, um, it was hard, but I now am a successful business owner who makes pretty good money doing the same thing I did for the federal government. I have my own contracts, and I didn't know that I could do it, but I did it. Yeah. Yeah.
What a story. And I hope, and I'm sure it's inspiring everyone out there because we're just afraid of our own success most of the time. Because it's like you were doing it for the federal government, you were doing it for somebody else. You had someone hovering over you, which half the time you were kind of correcting everybody else's work and mistakes and they were always calling on you to rectify and clear
Mhm.
things up.
Yeah.
So yeah, and it took you, isn't it interesting? It takes one, it always takes something either tragic or, an illness or something to physically stop you
Yeah.
because that's the only thing that stops us because mentally we can keep going.
Yes,
But
we
then when
can.
our bodies actually physically stop and, stop, you
Yeah.
can't go anywhere. Even though your mind wants to, your body won't allow you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it took that. And then, yeah.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. It took that. Yeah. And the recovery is still good. Still, seeking therapy, still, finding ways to look at myself and see where I can go, where I can improve. My relationship with Keziah has tremendously improved because of the weight that has been lifted.
Mm,
Sometimes we don't realize that the past, that saying, "There's a monkey on your back." I have a monkey on my back. Yeah, because that monkey is heavy. No, even if that monkey is a small monkey, but if you keep carrying it and carrying it and carrying it and carrying it, it's going to weigh you down. It is. It's going to weigh you down because you don't know what's going on internally. Like wearing a backpack. Wearing a backpack, you're like, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. But an hour from now, let me ask you, how's your back? Oh, so you start shifting. You start putting it here, putting it there. And that's what we do in life. We take all of the trauma we think we can carry, and then when it gets a little bit heavy, oh, well, let me shift it over here.
mm,
Let me shift it over here. How about just get rid of it? You know,
mhm.
it's easy to say, hard to do, but once you realize that you can actually put it down, and then
Yeah.
assess it, unpack it, see what it is. Remove yourself from that situation and assess it, and you know, then give yourself advice, because all of us are brilliant. All of us are brilliant. All of us have the answers. All of us do. You know, we just kind of need to dig deep a little. Ooh, I just read because some people like to carry the backpack because they like to complain about the pain. Yeah, those are the ones that are attached to the pain.
Mm.
That's their lifeline. The pain is their lifeline. If they only knew, she tells her clients all the time when they are confused on what higher self is. I tell him to think of themselves as God. God made a clear statement in the Bible. Don't get me quoting what verse it was, but I don't remember what. Yeah. Let me see. Let me read the rest because I am God. And sometimes we have to think about why did God have to make a statement like I am. I think about that every time I'm vibrating in my higher self to get anything I want, and it never fails. Yes, the Bible tells us to ask, you shall receive. Knock, and it shall be open. It said shall. It didn't say may or might or will. Shall. It shall be open. Um, and so seek and you shall find. So ask, the acronym ask. Ask and you shall receive. Seek and you will find. Knock and it will be open unto you. So when you say these things, I am dot dot dot. I'm going to make a statement and it's true. And I'm pretty sure you can make the statement as well and it renders to be true. I am a millionaire. I am. Not all at once. I mean, not right now, but from the time I was making money to now, yes, I have made millions. You
Yep.
see how true that statement is? That statement is true. Yes, I am a millionaire from
Just
the
by the
time I started
power of
speaking.
I am
Yeah, it
creation.
changes. It changes. Yeah, because I am is present. It's now tense. It's not a past tense. It's not a future tense. It's a now tense.
Hmm.
And that is law. Law pertains to now.
Awesome. Wow, what an episode it has been. And what a life you've had, Zanetta. You know, what can I say? Congratulations to you to really have journeyed through it all and look where you are on the other side.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it. All things are possible.
Yes, all all things are possible. Yes, they are. You just have
Nina,
to. Ooh,
Nina
yeah.
says, great episode.
Thank
Yes,
you.
absolutely. I think so
Yeah.
too. It it's definitely, listening to other people's journeys and stories in so many areas we can relate. So many
Mm-hmm.
areas that we say, oh my, that sounds a bit like me. Oh wow, that's similar to what I've experienced.
Mm-hmm.
And when we listen to someone else's story, it just changes something. But we have to allow it to change us or
Yeah.
inspire us to take action, because
Yeah.
just listening and then not taking action,
Right. Right.
it's
You have to
useless.
ask. You have to ask yourself this: if you hear your story in somebody else's, story, and you see them, and you would say, "Gosh, I would have never thought that you've been through that," because you don't show evidence that you have gone through those things, ask yourself, do you like where you're at? Are you happy with where you're at? Are you happy with whatever that trauma or whatever that experience is that you are relating with somebody else? How important is it for you to remain in that space?
Mm-hmm.
How important is it? Is it really that important to stay in that space when you know that space, it's not going to change? You know, in that space, nobody's going to change unless you take yourself out of that space.
Mm.
Then and only then can it change. It's like your beautiful garden, right? When you plant your tomatoes, I just love it. I love it. When you plant your tomatoes in that one area, in that
Mm.
one area, it's going to remain there. And if you see that the leaves are always eaten up, are always, it's crumbling, it's not blossoming. If you leave it there, it's going to give you the same result. Oh, Wayne, hello,
I,
welcome. So yes, the tomatoes. But because this is a scenario that I'm speaking about. Um, so if you leave the tomatoes there, you're going to get the same results. But if you transplant that tomato to a different part of your garden, that is, that you say, well, let me put it over here and see how it grows, and you see it flourishing, it's because of that soil,
correct.
not this soil. So remove yourself from
Mm-hmm.
that predicament and watch things grow. Just like you're on the low vibration, remove yourself from the low vibration, go to the high vibration, and watch things
Mm-hmm.
flourish. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Zanetta. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you for sharing um, all your story. Um, it's been wonderful. And for those of you that haven't, you know, heard the whole
Oh,
story on the first part, what's that? Nicole said something.
yeah, that should have been the name of the episode. Get into new soil.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. Yeah, it's so true. It's so true. We just have to um, step back and have a look and see what's not working and make that change. And yeah, and I think too, if we can tackle it with, imagine what it would be like, because we're going to have fear. Everybody's going to have fear.
Everybody has fear. Fear
But
is
if
a
we
good
tackle it
emotion.
right, so that can either drive us or it can stop us, right? We know that. But if we can even tackle it with, imagine what it would be like. So you're starting to at least opening up to imagining the
Hmm.
change. I
Yeah,
wonder what it would be like or what it would feel like. Yeah.
yeah,
So again, you're taking baby steps and you start wondering, you start imagining, you start feeling, you start opening up. So for those of you that find it hard to, do the whole thing cold turkey, there are still ways of tackling it. And that is
yeah,
by using the imagination and start playing with words of, I wonder if, imagine, I
yeah,
imagine what it would be like, and
yeah.
explore it that
Oh,
way.
and one of those steps also is that you can, DM me, give me a call, And also Stefania, because she can help you with the mental,
Mhm.
with
Yes,
the hypnosis. Yeah.
which I was going to get to. So, Zanetta, first of all, your book.
Mhm.
Where can they get your book?
Amazon.com.
Right. And maybe
Yeah.
you can put a link in the feed afterwards.
I'll set it for free.
Wow. Grab yourself a copy.
I'll set it for free. Miss Nina, send me your address and I'll send you a hard copy.
Wow. Zanetta's been very generous. So grab yourself a copy. And if you want to actually have a chat with Zanetta, how can they reach you, Zanetta, to make that time with you? Do you have a calendar? Do you have, or do they just DM you direct?
Calendar.
Face. Just DM her.
let me let me see my calendar. No, but yeah, you can either email me at zanetta@redefinemE.org, or you can DM me, Zanetta, put in here for friends, or message me, say, hey, let's have a chat. Yeah, yeah. And that's the reason why I changed, because before it was transforming daily lives. And, I wanted it to be refined to where, what I'm actually doing is what's the title of my actual businesses, which is redefine me, because we have to redefine ourselves. Oftentimes we present ourselves as what others have told us, what we have believed others have said. And so
Mhm.
when we redefined ourselves, then dodging puss, then uh, you know, we get that um, internal dialogue going, get that internal, work done, and then you can move forward. Yeah,
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Well, great. So get yourself a copy of the book, DM Zanetta or email her on the email that she just gave you, zanetta@redefinemE.org, and hop on a call and chat with her. Yeah. And if
yeah,
you want to have a chat with me as well,
yeah.
absolutely. I'm here to chat with you as well. So, Zanetta, once again, thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing, being open and transparent about your life. I mean, this is just awesome.
Thank you.
Where's the email address, please? Okay, we'll put it in the feed for you
Let me see.
afterwards.
Okay. I hope it goes. There you go.
Awesome. There you go. It's in there. All right. So Zanetta, um, we're going to come to a close now, aren't we?
Yes.
It's time to say goodbye to everybody. Thank you to everybody who's been listening in. Uh, Thank you for tuning in. Thank you to all the people that have been like Nina and Nicole and Wayne. Thank you for
Yes.
chiming
Thank
in.
you.
And if you're watching it on the replay, please leave a message. We will get back to
Yes.
you and let us know where you're from, because we do have people from all over the world chiming in, which is lovely. We always like to
Yes.
know where you're chiming in from. Have a great night, Nicole says.
I think that's
Great.
Nina. Is that
Oh, that
Nina?
was
Nina.
Nina. Oh, Nina, sorry. Starts
Yeah.
with an N. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's in Australia here. We're in Australia. Well, I'm in Australia, Nina. So it's actually 1 o'clock in the afternoon here. So we still have the rest of our day, and that's Saturday,
Mm-hmm.
because we are ahead. So next week we don't have a topic yet, Zanetta, do we? So we're
Not
gonna. Or do you have
yet,
a topic?
but I have something up my sleeve.
Yeah, as always.
As always.
You want to share now? Or you're going to surprise everyone later.
Oh no, we're gonna surprise. We are. I love surprises. Yes.
Yes, 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 yes. And Nina says, wow, how cool.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So, as always, we love everybody and we send
Yes, we love
everybody lots of love and
passion.
mhm,
Until next time.
bye for
Bye for
now.
now.